Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so happy that you are back here. For those of you who are returning, for anybody who's new, welcome. And this reading is for the parents, guardians of the Leo child for the month of April 2021. As always, please remember my readings are not gender specific, so please apply gender as it most resonates for your household. And I recognize that we have various age ranges here, ranging from little itty bitty ones as well as teenagers. And some of you are here for like little older children, meaning adults. So I get it. No big deal. Everyone is welcome. And and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. I would greatly appreciate very much trying to grow this channel and cannot do it alone. So whatever you can do to help with that, I would greatly appreciate it. Oops. And let's see what we've got going here. And I apologize ahead of time. My camera has been shaking quite a bit. I have a new setup here and I haven't gotten the hang of it yet. And so if you get some shaking, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's start here with Leo for the month of April. And this position will tell us what your little one is experiencing here in April. Oh, very interesting. Oh, you got the same cards. Okay, so we have an annunciation, as I like to call it here. So something, a theme that we very much need to pay attention here for the month of April for your little Leo. So you got the Page of Swords and the Daughter of Swords, which essentially are the same cards, okay? And this is about coming into a whole new exploration, more specifically when it comes to communication, learning new ideas, getting new ideas. This is an energy of a little one that all of a sudden not only has a ton of new ideas, like, hey mom, why don't we build blah, 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 something really surreal, but at the same time genius. That's the kind of energy we're talking about. It's also about asking a ton of questions because this is the page. The page is about curiosity. The page is curious. The page wants to know. The page wants to learn. It's the apprentice. It's coming into a new knowing and a new way of gathering information. Usually this also happens when your little one is maybe being exposed to new cultures, new languages, new ways of being. They may even become interested in new languages. But this is a very beautiful energy because what this tells me is that your little Leo is like their little minds are working overtime here in the month of April. So you're going to be answering a lot of questions to your parents. So have your Google ready, have your Wikipedia ready, have your sources ready, because your little one's going to be asking the questions, and some questions you may not even want to answer, but it's going to be fun. It's a curious time for your little one. And again, they're going to be interested in a lot of new things. So in terms of the parent, this is beautiful because what it's saying is that you'll be given an opportunity to facilitate this by opening the door to these things. So like, let's say all of a sudden, the little one becomes interested in puzzles or where puzzles come from. Then you may want to get them a book on that, or use this as an opportunity to expand their reading, their language, their vocabulary, because they are so interested. So kind of getting on board with that energy and utilizing this fertile time that your child is open to learning and expanding for them to learn and expand, It's very nice. So let's see where this unfolds. So here we have the potential challenge and conflict that your child may be facing during the month of April. Yeah, okay. So Justice is a very assertive card. It's very much about ethics and fairness, and it's very much also about speaking the truth. And sometimes the speaking of the truth isn't very finessed, even though harmony is really required here for justice to be happy. So if you are already getting this in terms of a conflict or challenge, your little one may be having a challenge of balancing their communication or how they speak about these new things that they are speaking about, right? So potentially you're at a dinner with friends and your little one's like, Mommy, why do I have a pee-pee. I don't know. That's so random and so bad. I hope I didn't offend anyone, but you know what I mean? Like it could be like the kind of thing where your little one has a difficult time just, holding back or balancing because they're being natural about the questions that are coming up. But this can also come up as a potential issue in the classroom, right? Where all of a sudden they learn about injustices, right? Because that's another thing that swords represents, and the justice does as well. So all of a sudden they're learning about these injustices, and it's like, well, how in the world is this even happening, people? And all of a sudden you get a little Leo that starts speaking up, and perhaps at times not the best times, and that could potentially get them into a little bit of hot water there. But again, not for a bad reason, but because they're realizing that they have a voice, right? Because this is also about exploring and realizing that their voice, what they say, and speaking up holds weight. That's also what this is about. So a lot of you are going to be, seeing your Leos speak up and sometimes maybe even be mouthy and sometimes maybe not agree and disagree publicly when you least want them to. Okay, and then we have the star here, which is again a repeating pattern. The star is associated with the sign of Aquarius, and Aquarius is about humanity and hope, and it's about speaking up, and it's about speaking up for others as well. So there's a sense here that your little one is, the information that they're learning has to do with humanity, the injustices, the unfairness, the hopes in the world, right? Because the star is about hope and loving humanity and loving ourselves and healing. And if this is falling in the, contradictory energy of these cards, which is the challenge and conflict, it tells me that it's almost like a helplessness that your little one is starting to feel like they can't do anything about this. And so they're going about speaking about it in ways that potentially are not very constructive. But it doesn't matter because they're trying, right? They're speaking up, they're testing their voice, and they're pushing the envelope, they're pushing those boundaries, which I think is beautiful. But it is something to be aware for you, parent, because you may be potentially, or the adults in his or her life may potentially be seeing it or receiving it as being mischievous or rebellious, when in reality, they're just seeing some shit in the world that's not cool, and they want to talk about it. And this could potentially be the conflict because it can't really do anything about it, right? So a little sense of helplessness, because the star is about feeling hopeful and uplifted, but when in the challenge is about feeling a little helpless and not able to do what needs to be done for this hope to be elevated. And so you have a little Leo, you have a fierce little Leo here, people. You have some Leos are coming up here in April, and also they get fueled in this energy of Aries, right? Leos are being fueled right now. It's a sister, it's a trinity here with Sag, Leo, Aries. So Sag, Leo, Aries right now are being ignited, right? And whatever areas they're coming into new acknowledgement and knowledge. And for your little one, there's a lot going on here. I'm very interested to know what your little ones are getting into, what new information and curiosities. If you don't mind commenting, I would really appreciate it, because this energy right now has got me pumped. Like, I literally was feeling tired right before this reading. And right now I am feeling so like uplifted, and like I want to go help these little Leos. Like, I don't know, like whatever new triumphs they want to get into or victories they want to cause for others, like they have like the little missions here. Okay, just a little heads up though, because it's page, we have an enunciation here of the page. Just be aware also that your little one may need a little bit more extra hand holding when it comes to that communication, like, learning and teaching them how to articulate certain expressions that they may have intellectually, verbally, and whatnot. Okay, so this position here is going to tell us what your little one needs most from you here in the month of April. Yeah. Okay. So we've got the Emperor, which this is about creating structure, and also creating leadership. And then we have the Six of Swords, which is about moving away from things that don't serve us, but also it's about moving forward to new knowledge. And swords, again, another annunciation here. It's a repeating theme. The swords comes up again, right? This is all air. The justice is Libra. The star is Aquarius. The swords is air. Again, Six of Swords is air. So you have it paired with the Emperor. So what this tells me is that what your child really needs from you is to really ground through leadership and these new ideas and new things going on with your little one. There's a lot of energy. Oof, I'm feeling it. Okay, so your household is busy. You're busy right now. You're busy with ideas. You're busy with stuff. You're busy with tasks. A lot of it is cerebral. A lot of it is intellectual stimulation. A lot of reading, a lot of talking, a lot of speech creating. And in terms of what your child needs you, the parent, to be the emperor, the leader of the household, and ground this energy and facilitate movement forward towards that new knowledge and intelligence that your child is acquiring. What does that mean? Okay, so the Emperor represents both Aries and Taurus, like the later degrees Aries and the early degrees Taurus. So this is about creating groundedness in the home. You see how he has all these books available to his family. He has the world, the globe there. So this is about creating the space, making these books available for your child's knowledge, rolling your sleeves up as a leader of your family and allowing your little one to expand upon these truths that they're coming into, and really just easing the process, because there is a little helplessness that's happening here in your child's perspective. And this is where you can come in your full authority. But look at that. Look at how in control you are of this. Okay, absolutely 100%. Okay, so that's what it is. It's about grounding this energy into a tangible state. And the way you do that is by connecting the dots. What's fact? What's fiction? What's the remedy? What can you learn? If your little one is feeling stuck with language and maybe a little, oh, I just want to be able to speak up, how can you ground that? How can you help your little one feel good about what they're doing? Can you get them a tutor to help them? Can you get them out into the world and share these realities with them? What can you do to ground it? All right, let's move on to the final card. And the final card here is an oracle card from the Awakened Soul. And this is about, this is like a little advice, tip, or what have you, or recommendation from Spirit on what you should be doing as a family unit. This is for you and your entire family, not just your little Leo included, but whomever else makes up your family unit. This could be you, your spouse, your other children, all of you basically. So what should you be doing here with your family as a family unit during the month of April? Shapeshifter. Interesting. I love this card. Okay. So I'm going to actually find here in the book. Okay. So the affirmation for this is, I am connected and listen to my instincts. The Shapeshifter card has come up in your reading today to tell you what you already know. Something is not what it seems. You need to look beyond the surface. Do what our awakened soul is doing. Pause, step back, and listen. The red flags have been there. You can no longer ignore your gut instincts. Okay, I love this because what this is telling you, it goes back. There's information coming into your household that requires clarification. Where are your children gathering information from? Are they rumors? Because the swords can represent that kind of thing too. Are they rumors that are not valid? This is a card that's asking, it's not really about going out and doing something together with your family. Rather, it's more of a being on the lookout for the potential danger of miscommunication and misinformation coming into your household, like what your children are learning or what your child is learning, what you are learning, what your spouse is learning, that potentially has no basis in truth, right? Because we go back to this truth card, right? So maybe perhaps that was the initial issue here. Something your child is learning is not true. Like maybe there's some fallacy that's coming into the household that needs clarification. Because shape shifting, after all, is about getting into that primal protector, our animal spirit, to protect ourselves and our family environment, right? So this is about being aware of what information is coming into your household that potentially has no room, that needs to be walked away from, moved away from into something healthier. It could be anything, folks. It can be some rumors are coming up and kind of just, it could be other family members, aunts, uncles, distant family member coming up with some piece of information that's not necessarily beneficial for your family to have a hold of in terms of the way it's being communicated. So this is really about what the best thing for you to do with your family and for your family during the month of April is to really filter whatever's coming in when it comes to communication, information, gossip, all that. Or even just whatever they're learning at school, right? That potentially doesn't, it's not really right. Let's really look into this further, okay? All right, lovelies, that's it for now. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you hopefully back here in May. Ciao.